This is part 2 of the lecture about imagination and language. Many teachers, myself included, have tried to bring some creative activity into the English as a second language classroom, adult classroom, only to have students grumble and complain about it. Many learners come from cultures where creativity and language learning are considered opposites and should never be mixed. One student told me about an EFL class she took where every day the teacher would ask them, "How are you?" And every day the students had to answer, "Fine, thank you." I find that incredibly sad. This is such a small area of language where creativity could and should be encouraged, especially since virtually no one in the U.S. says, "Fine, thank you," anymore. The trick with creativity in the adult language classroom is to make sure that the students know the learning objective of the activity. When my students clearly see how the activity helps them improve their language, then they are highly motivated to participate. If students seem stuck for creative ideas, try some of the techniques we're learning in class to get their juices flowing. For example, show them creative items, listen to music, draw, act, sculpt, try something new, watch something funny, or do the typical free writing or brainstorming. I really like the way that Moskowitz explains humanistic education. I believe that regardless of what we teach, we should always be striving to help learners become the best they can be. I also believe in treating students as whole people in my classroom and not just blank slates waiting for my wisdom. What I want you to be aware of, though, is that some humanists take this concept to the extreme. That type of humanist says that we do not need a God because human effort is enough for everything in life. Every humanist is not like that, but realize that some are, so that you won't be caught by surprise if you ever get in a conversation with that type of humanist. To be honest with you, I found the author's research to be lacking in statistics. However, it was very qualitatively focused on individuals, and that's what you would expect from a devout humanist. While it would be nice to see more quantitative research, I myself am a qualitative type person also. So I do believe her research, and I do believe that classes which intermingle imagination and language learning will have very positive learning results. My experience, and there is some research to support this, is that the positive learning results will also appear on traditional type of tests. I agree with her idea that a poor self-image interferes with learning, whereas an enhanced self-concept can improve it. Feelings are going to be in your classroom regardless of what you think or do. Learners will enter scared, anxious, confident, etc. How will they feel when they leave your class? I want to end this lecture with some warnings. I've already mentioned it, but it's important, especially for new teachers, to realize that just because they added imaginative activity to the class, students may not respond positively. When I was a young teacher, I decided to teach a song to my ESL students. It was a huge failure. When I was explaining it to my fellow instructors later, they asked 2 questions that educated me. Now, first, they asked, what song did I teach them? And it was the Banana Boat song, Day-O. And then the second question was, why did I choose that song? This second question is when I realized my mistake. I had chosen it just because another teacher had given me the lyrics and music the day before, and I thought it would be fun. I didn't know the history of the song, and I didn't know how it related to an English lesson, and my students picked up that since it uses pidgin English instead of regular English, the students quickly dismissed it as not being valuable to them. Adults need to be able to recognize the learning goal in order for them to be motivated.